then it should be from like the live from either WRUW or live from Cleveland. I get notified when they go live.
Is this on Instagram both. At all?
I don't no, not on Instagram, okay. But it's on our YouTube.
Oh, YouTube as well. Okay.
Yeah, but I don't. There's not an easy way to share that. The Facebook one I feel like is the most simple way.
So I'll copy the YouTube link and share it.
Mm-hmm. All right. Oh yeah, there it is. I see it. All right. Thanks everybody for tuning in. This is the second non-traditional live from Cleveland episode that we've done, and tonight we have a brand new group called Cursed Image here with us. You might recognize some of these faces. Did you guys want to introduce yourselves and tell us a little bit about how you got involved with this project?
So I'm Andrew. I have been writing the songs primarily, and it's kind of a like a work from home project. We've been just recording it into my computer, and then I've been sending Tuck the mixes, and he's been working on them, and then he'll send them back. I don't know what exactly he does, but it's magic. I don't know, how would you describe it, Tuck?
Yeah, so I mean, I would say all the hard stuff is already done by the time I get the songs, you know. So I mean, I'm basically mixing them and doing some sound design stuff, but yeah, I mean, most of it's Andrew writing the songs, and then he sends them to me, and I mix them, and we just kind of keep going until they're done.
So Andrew, are you you're doing the guitar parts, the singing, the writing of the songs? Are you also playing drums for this project?
So the drums have been programmed through GarageBand.
Very convincing.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah. Thank you. No, I've been playing with GarageBand for a number of years, and it's a pretty helpful tool once you get around to it. So I spent a lot of time with the magic drummer. You'll hear Jason and Kyle in there, the drummer presets. But yeah, so you can tweak them a lot. So Tuck and I have been talking, so we worked on these songs together. We're thinking now that he's got a space going, that's where he's chatting from, we'll probably do some live drum recording on future songs that we're working on. So it's hard once you finish a project, you just automatically start talking about what you're doing next. So
yeah, for sure.
But yeah, so we'll probably continue with this stuff, and he'll be recording some real drums.
You both have been working on this for quite a while. The EP that you put out is like a self-titled EP, and it has 5 songs on it. And you kind of told me that you started working on this in February of 2019, and obviously it's more than a year later now, but you really were able to start working on it more in-depthly because of the quarantine. Why did the project really jump off right now for you, and what was taking you so long before?
Definitely we were working at it at a very slow pace. We didn't necessarily have a goal in mind for the songs. It was just kind of like, hey, I worked really hard on this project and I need it polished up, and I'd send it to Tuck. And yeah, I don't know. We didn't have a timeline. And then, I don't know, we ended up with a lot of free time once everything kind of closed down, I guess.
Yeah, I would say there wasn't really like the two of us never were like, okay, we're going to do an EP and we're going to do this many songs. It was more like, hey, I got a song, he tosses it over to me, and then, you know, we work on that, and then a couple months later we do another one, and all of a sudden we were like, oh, we have enough, you know. So, but yeah, I had we both had obviously so much free time with the quarantine, so that helped.
Right. Also, I find that as I listened through this EP, that there were a lot of songs that kind of focused a lot on this idea of technology and as kind of dystopian and like this dystopian world. So did you feel like it was really like important or more prescient right now to get this out so that people could listen to it, maybe find like some additional meaning in it that it might not have had before? Or
Yeah, I definitely it's definitely has some commentary on, technology and stuff, and I feel like some of this could make it more relevant. Definitely songs that I wanted to get out. They had just been demos that Tuck and I had been kicking around for so long, and I think especially with what's going on, I wanted people to be able to hear them, and definitely like a sort of a captive audience right now. It's kind of funny. It's become like almost a cliche to release music in the age of the coronavirus. So I definitely had an urge to get these out in that kind of situation. I think they're relevant.
Yeah, they have some similarities to some of the things, just kind of like the small kind of jams or like improvisations that you've been writing during quarantine when that started. And so I was really surprised and also like excited that you had this whole other project that you wanted to share with us. So today we're really excited to have this listening party for the new Cursed Image EP. And I think without further ado, we should play the first track that we talked about. Andrew, you said this was one of the ones that you recorded and kind of wrote the earliest on in the project.
Yeah, this was the first one that I really was like, hey, Tuck, do you want to work on this one? Would you like take a look at it? And, I think it has the most components to it. It was like the first approach that I took at something that was a lot different than my band Sweepy Heads. I kind of removed the punk element from it maybe a little bit, and so I was looking for some room in it, and Tuck was able to kind of bring out the elements that I wanted on it, for sure.
So like what specific elements do you think, Tuck, that you really like focused in on this track, which is called How to Be Human?
Yeah, I mean, hard to kind of think back specifically. I would say
Sure.
In general, trying to kind of so the drums on the whole EP, the drums are pretty simple, and so they're able to be pretty big. And so my role was trying to make the drums big, but without having them affect the vocals and the arrangement. So yeah, I mean, I basically just made these songs bigger and louder.
Kyle and Jason could only do so much, right? Yeah.
He also did some fun stuff with the acoustic guitar in here. It does a little wandering around. That's
a lot of meandering. Yeah, for sure.
My favorite Tuckism element in there.
Yeah.
We'll take a listen to this track, and also if, as you guys are listening, you remember something that kind of was going through your mind as you were either recording it or mixing it, let us know afterwards too, because I know it's been might have been a while since you've listened to these mixes. So this is the first song that we're going to listen to off this new EP. It's called How to Be Human by Cursed Image. No.
Let me go. Let me pull my stream up.
Now I want to hear it.
I think that it's.
We've been tricked and lied to all these years by social norms and corporations. You've got just what you need. We will teach you how to be a human. Every day the message is
Are we back? Hey.
All right. Awesome. It's okay. You're doing a good job. We're working through it.
I like it.
It's perfect. So one of the things, Andrew, you were kind of talking about too, is that this project's a lot different than Sleepyheads, and maybe perhaps most of the people that are tuned in right now to this live listening party on Live from Cleveland are perhaps most familiar with you there. So maybe talk about
Sure.
some of the stylistic things that you really wanted to do with this project that you didn't with Sleepyheads. I know you focused on making the songs not as punk, but maybe a few other things that you were trying.
Yeah. I think just a lot of songs, the shape they take, it has a lot to do with the methodology of making it. So with Sleepyheads, our approach is pretty straightforward. You know, we have an idea and then we work it out as a band. So maybe our instincts for being like a punk band kind of kick in. So we don't worry about as many details sometimes. You know, we just the songs that take shape for themselves. You know, so with this, I had a lot of time to do things a million times over and just keep working at them. Sometimes I kind of feel limited by the fact that I'm just working by myself, but so it was kind of a challenge, you know, to kind of come up with something just by yourself. I think it definitely there are more guitar things. There are more guitar solos and like riffs, and the guitar definitely kind of controls the direction of the songs a lot more. Sleepyheads, I feel more lyric based, if anything.
Yeah, you also said that there was kind of the opportunity sort of, you called it meandering earlier, but I know that when you're talking about it, you felt like it also had some kind of psych elements to it.
Yeah. Yeah, a
was
little bit more when I'm recording it, and when I was working on the songs, they were in my headphones, and so a lot of the effects that are on there, I would kind of max them out, and you just play it a million times, and it kind of, the psychedelic elements sort of lend themselves. It's in there a couple times for Web of Delusion's probably the best example, and Disappear are the two songs that have some of those psychedelic elements to them.
And then Tuck, how much of your stamp have you added to this project as well? Because Andrew really has credited you as kind of the other half of Cursed Image. So for people out there that are sort of like lay people who don't really kind of understand what mixing can bring to these different songs, maybe talk a little bit about what you were able to do and what you were able to bring to the project.
Yeah, I think so. I would say that half is maybe a little generous because again, the majority of it is totally Andrew. But what I've been doing in mixing these songs is trying to get the message heard as best I can. It's like if he's playing something cool on the guitar, then I'm trying to get that to be as clear as possible. Same with the words he's saying, and so I would say that's making what he's doing as clear as possible and as impactful as it can be is probably what I do most.
And then I feel like also just in mixing, kind of having that clear idea of what all of these songs are going to sound like, and how this project kind of differs from maybe other projects that you've worked on. I know we talked a little earlier, that you are a studio professional. So I guess maybe tell us just a little bit about what you do by day, or where people can find more information about your different projects, if they aren't as familiar as perhaps
Sure.
they are with the Sweepy Heads.
Yeah, I'm a recording and mixing engineer. And I used to work at Superior Sound. I learned from Jim Wirt, and so now I've built my own studio, and so I have artists here, and people can send me their mixes and or rough mixes, and I'll work on those. So the best way to get in touch with me now is probably through Instagram. So my handle is Tuckn _ROLL, Tuck and Roll. And so people can just send me a message, and I'm keeping track of the things that I'm doing here and projects I'm working on. But I basically just built the studio, so it's pretty much a brand new operation.
He's been hard at work building that studio, I'll tell you.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Is this a home a home studio, or do you still go to the office to do this?
This is kind of an expanded home studio. So I my apartment is in it's behind me. But yeah.
I've been calling it the hen house.
Yeah, it's kind of I guess that's right. Yeah, it's I've got 2 rooms basically that are recording studio, and I live here too. So.
Cool.
Yeah, the home studio, but I would say elevated home studio.
Super chill place to record.
It's almost like we did an MTV Cribs on Live from Cleveland.
Yeah.
Maybe another time. This is a listening party, mixing up the shows.
I know. I'll walk you through next time.
Next time.
My apartment's just a little too messy to go MTV Cribs style, but I'd like to show my VHS tapes sometime.
We'll do that. We'll save some time at the end of the show.
All right, so stick around.
Well, we're gonna move on to that next song, Web of Delusion, which you both of you were saying kind of has more of those psych elements to them, and they're a little bit kind of the other side of the album. So
probably the most dystopian of the songs, if I were to say. It's kind of like about getting a sunburn, but instead you're getting a burn from the light coming from your phone, and it's more of a mental kind of burn.
Sweet.
So
I'm excited for this one. Isaac, are we ready on your end? All right, so without further ado, this is another track from that new EP by Cursed Image. You're going to hear the song Web of Delusion.
The pop-up got you. Open your heart and your wallet.
Look at all those cursed images, Barney.
Nice. So many cursed images.
All right. So it is kind of funny. There are a lot of mentions of this like, and a lot of funny stuff too with this, like, you know, you're using your phone too much, like technology's kind of like rotting your brain. But it is also funny that you relied so heavily on technology to make the album. Is it sort of like this catch-22?
It's true. It's only digitally available, you know, at least right now. But it's definitely built into it. So I don't think it's all negative necessarily. That song in particular, I think it's more of like about striking that balance, you know, between who you are portraying maybe on the internet versus who you are in real life, you know, because it's definitely, it can go a number of ways. Yeah.
Well, I like that a lot of your songs that even the past stuff that you've written for Sleepyheads, a lot of it is like a little tongue-in-cheek. And also, I think a lot of this album too is also sort of focusing on like this bigger idea of like, I don't know what I'm supposed to be doing.
Yeah, pretty much. I can't help but, write those. Maybe I listened to too many like emo bands or something. But all of my songs are kind of self-deprecating approach, but with a sense of humor, I'd say all my favorite bands definitely have a sense of humor. That's the most important quality to me in music, no doubt, is like just that personality showing through that is likable. And generally for me, that means there's some kind of element of humor,
Yeah, for sure.
Buried in there somewhere.
Yeah, you're mentioning, I think that the next track that we are going to listen to, Home Screen, is kind of production-wise, but also I would say like lyrically a little bit influenced by Pavement, or was that Web of Delusion?
No, Home Screen's definitely the Pavement song out of them.
Okay.
Sure. Awesome. I would say so.
And so right now, if people are interested in listening to Cursed Image and this album in its entirety, because we've kind of moved around the songs and decided how we were going to present them today. But if you want to listen to this in its entirety from song 1 to song 5, where can they go to listen to this right now, Andrew?
It's currently on Bandcamp, streamable. So you can do acursedimage.bandcamp.com. I put a link up on my Facebook. It's out there. It's supposed to be going live on Spotify tomorrow. We'll see how that goes. And it'll be available everywhere. On TikTok. Available on TikTok.
Maybe people will submit their dances for these tracks. Viral. We can only hope it becomes a viral.
They say it's gone viral, so we've got an inside man at TikTok now too. So
I've been waiting for this moment. This is good. So they've all. Oh, perfect. Thank you, Isaac. That's very helpful of you. I appreciate that. And I guess my other question right now at this moment, since we kind of talked, I mentioned that we're not playing these songs in order. How did you eventually decide to order this album? And now I'm taking all of these songs out of order, but
sure. Well, I kind of honestly broke them up. Would be songs that have like synthy noises in it, like electronic sounds, songs that are like primarily reliant on guitar riffs, and then Home Screen kind of stands out on its own since it's sort of emo tune. It's just sort of a closer, so
This is the closer. This is like your single, perhaps.
I don't know. Okay. More of a swan song, I would say.
Okay. Well, we'll go into that one. We're going to listen to Home Screen, and I just want to say thank you to everybody that has tuned in right now for this special edition.
Wow, we're up to 7,000 listeners right now.
That's definitely on TikTok doing that inside job, I'm pretty sure. But this is definitely an experiment for us. We're trying something a little bit new every week here on Live Cleveland. And in addition to this live broadcast on Facebook, you can also watch us live on YouTube. And you'll be able to listen to this broadcast tomorrow as well. We'll be having this air Thursday night at our normal time, 10 to 11 p.m. So if you missed it, parts of it, tune into the whole thing in its entirety at 90.1 FM or on our website, WRUW.org. So without further ado, now that I got that out of the way, we're gonna listen to Home Screen by Cursed Image here on Live from Cleveland.
Yeah, so that's the
All
long
right.
one, the swan song. It's
Which
cracks 3 minutes.
3.5 minute long. It's the longest one on the record.
do you find it more difficult to work long or to work short?
Well, definitely long for sure. When I'm working on a song and I'm listening to it, I want to rush everything, hearing a riff or something played more than once, I'm like already getting antsy trying to move on to the next thing, but I've been trying to that was the latest song. That was the last one and I was working on it. I was trying to let the guitar parts breathe a little bit, let it go a little longer cuz you can spare, an extra iteration of a good guitar part,
Yeah.
I think it's okay.
Which, out of the 5 songs that you have here, we've listened to 3 of them off the new album so far for this listening party. Which one do you think was like the most difficult for you to put, or perhaps presented the most challenges?
I would probably say the song Disappear was, just because I wrote it a long time ago and I had recorded like a demo version of it, and I was really committed to that first take that I did of it to be the version of it, you know. Apparently Radiohead, when they record a song, it's the first version. There's no demos. They do it, and like there's a commitment to the song that comes is the one that is the song, you know. So I maybe had that kind of commitment to my demo version. So I just kept tweaking it and tweaking it and tweaking it, and finally I just like re-recorded the whole thing better. So I don't have having parts that are missing.
Did you tell him that insider info about Radiohead?
No, I did not.
I learned that on an interview with Stephen Malcolmus.
Nice. But in that kind of same vein, I'm making a real question out of my joke. Were there any times that maybe Tuck, you had like some input on something, or like maybe helped Andrew to hear something in a different way? You said you were really committed to that original demo that, you know, wasn't the one that you finally kind of went with. Was there anything that perhaps you guys really collaborated on to hear differently or tweak in any certain way?
There were maybe small things here and there. You know, I played drums, and so I would say my input on the drums, like I would maybe trim a few things here and there on that. And I think maybe we re-recorded bass for one of the songs, like one of the early ones. Did we?
Yeah, I definitely sent you some fresh tracks, some synth noises I had to send you. So Tuck is going to undersell himself, but he definitely helped me get the songs where they needed to be. You know, one thing, he was editing the drums a lot. GarageBand Kyle can only do so much. So he was pulling out some extra like kick drums that shouldn't be there, just distracting stuff, you know. I think it's just all about framing it up, you know.
Yeah, that's true.
For sure.
And Kyle likes to do the same drum fill over and over again. And, you know, Kyle, come on, man. Learn a fresh fill.
There you go. I know, Kyle's got to practice.
So for this next song, Fall Apart, you said that there were some really kind of specific influences production-wise that you were going for in this track. Can you tell me a little bit about that?
That song, Tuck had an instinct, I think, this band called Thin Bloods. I think he, you know, you kind of just gotta, a song can be interpreted a million ways. Like the production is such an important element in it, you know, and basically some of these pop songs, they could sound like the Ramones or something if you just produced it a different way, or, you know, it really changes things. So he heard a band called Thin Bloods. I think he kind of took that approach to it. It almost sort of a lo-fi kind of sound. The song is a little different.
Yeah, a lot more of like a live, you know, like the other ones are kind of productions, you know, and this one sounded more like a live. It sounds like a band playing, you know, kind of. And so that's kind of what Thin Bloods is kind of like that. So yeah. This is a sweet one.
That's kind of how the song came about too. Honestly, this song was more of an improv song method wise. You know, I just kind of played it and then the song was there, you know. Some songs you work at them like endlessly to make them happen, but this one it came from a magical song place that I don't know where it is lyrically and guitar part wise. So I don't know. Sometimes you listen to a song and you're like, where did I come up with that? And that would be the song probably. So it's like I played with an imaginary band in my head, kind of, I guess, in a way.
You have a lot more control that way, so that's good.
It's also not as fun.
Well, yeah, definitely true, but probably a good timing for it, right? We'll talk a little bit more about that
Corona
later, too.
time. It's Corona time, baby. What can you do?
All right, we're going to listen to Fall Apart, another one from this brand new EP from Cursed Image that Tuck Mindrum and Andrew Yaden worked on together. You can stream this on Bandcamp if you look up A Cursed Image, or it'll also be available, fingers crossed, on Spotify tomorrow as well. So there will be a chance to listen to these tunes even after the live stream. I think that song is perhaps my favorite song on this EP. I don't know why I feel that way, but that one's the banger for me personally.
That one's Tuck's favorite song.
Yeah, I think it might be my favorite.
I haven't really gotten a lot of people's opinions on these songs. Really, we're actually kind of premiering them. I've kept them pretty much under wraps, so it'll be interesting to see which songs people gravitate towards.
Well, it's really convenient that we're having this interactive watch party right now where we're listening. So if anybody out there listening has an opinion one way or the other, which one has been their favorite, drop it in the comments down there if you like one of the specific songs, and don't let mine nor Tuck's opinion color your opinion. Definitely, go with your heart, go with your gut on this one.
Comments, likes, subscribes.
Yeah, yes, exactly.
Smash that like.
Is that a call to action?
No, oh no,
Smash that like
just a
button.
string of words. Andrew, will we be seeing a Facebook page for this group, or is this going to be like a secret solo project?
Right now, it's too cool for Facebook. Maybe an Instagram account. I think my personal Instagram is going to act as cursed image in the meantime. I really don't know. That's a great question.
Sure.
But, yeah.
It kind of it feeds. Oh, one more time. I'm so sorry, Tuck.
What's that? I just said it's underground right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, this does way underground.
Do you think that the project has a life outside of quarantine? I mean, I feel like right now you've, been able to finish this up and release it, but is this sort of like your studio album? Do you ever plan on playing any of these songs live or as Cursed Image?
Yeah, they definitely pose a challenge to play live. There's a lot of elements in them. So I imagine it requiring a band of 4 people at the very least. So it's definitely been a studio. It's something that's meant to be listened to with some headphones. That's kind of how I approached it. Whereas definitely my other band, Sweepyheads, that we thrive in a performance atmosphere. Like most definitely, that's where we do our thing best. So I guess that's kind of what was driving me to work on this, was the fact that I wanted to make something that is its primary setting belongs in a set of headphones or, speaker.
Very convenient for right now. So that's, you don't need anything to listen to it besides yourself.
No one's hitting us up to book shows right now, so.
I mean, I thought about it, but I was like, what can we really put them on?
Right.
Okay. So for this last track, Disappear, any closing comments about making this EP, about this song in particular?
This is the one that I worked the longest on. I don't know if it necessarily shows. It just was the frustrating one. In terms of the EP itself, I don't know. What can you say? You have my art, you have my mind.
Well, are you guys both happy that you worked on this project and it's finally out and available for the masses to consume?
Yeah, definitely. A lot of these songs have been kicking around on my computer for way too long. Didn't really have an idea of what they were for. And then, I don't know. I just think that production element that Tuck provided kind of gave them we were able to kind of tie them up and find the similarities in them and make them a unit, an EP, And so I'm proud of how they came together and how they sound. So, yeah.
Yeah, and it was a blast for me to work on them. I'm glad that they're out and people can enjoy them.
Well, thank you so much for agreeing to this awesome stream party and listening party with us. We were excited to take on this experiment and kind of go with it. So last but not least, we're going to listen to Disappear from Cursed Image. And then stay tuned. After the song plays, we'll come back and we'll get all of the links and your Facebook and Instagram handles one more time for people interested in more info. Okay?
You call me up when you need me. You're looking for me because I am so understanding. A complacent person, I am left disadvantaged by my own imagination. I stand so still, alone. I start to disappear. I gain satisfaction from within, trying to stay so far away from the public opinion. They're making it harder to understand the world around us, so we just stand in contemplation. We stand so still, alone, start to disappear.
And I did just want to mention, to clarify for everybody, that the band name is Cursed Image. Just Cursed Image, IMAGE. We had it with plural in a couple of our Live from Cleveland slides, so I didn't want anybody to be confused when searching on the internet. The internet is already as confusing as it needs to be.
And is full of cursed images.
Yeah.
So.
So where can people find this music now that we've listened to the entire album, not in order, but we mixed it up, and people can comment which songs they liked the most. If they liked any of the songs, you can leave all kinds of notes on our live stream right now, which is really exciting. You can tell Isaac that you like his pets, or Daryl. Daryl also made a
Where'd he go? Fancy rat.
So
well behaved.
We can do a lot of fun things with the live stream, which I enjoy. But thank you to everyone who tuned into that. But if anybody needs a refresher or wants to listen on their own time, where can they go to hear these songs?
They're currently live on Bandcamp right now. A cursedimage.bandcamp.com. A Google search may pull it up. It's all very fresh and new. So the Google web crawlers, I don't know if they're finding it right away, but yeah. And then it should be on Spotify here shortly, as well as TikTok.
Awesome. And then if both of you also want to let people know where they can follow you or get a hold of you at, in case they'd like to talk about mixing services or recording services, and Andrew, if they want to follow your your pursuits with this project and see what you do after quarantine.
Yeah, sorry, my pet was distracting me.
Oh, it's okay.
After quarantine, it's hard to even think about that time, you know. It just seems like it's going to be forever, you know. But I'm excited for it all to end. I'm excited to see live bands play, you know, and maybe we'll play these songs one day. Who knows?
Where can they follow you on the personal Instagram you were talking about, or all just Instagram if you'd like to?
Yeah, honestly, Gig Tapes is me and my wife. We collect VHS tapes and and they're the worst of the worst VHS tapes, and we like the really bad parts. And we post them online at Gig Tapes. So it's just GIGTAPES on Instagram. So honestly, I post a lot of music stuff there. That's kind of what the album cover for this EP was, made from a religious VHS tape that I just kind of like destroyed in Photoshop. So yeah, so that's what we do at Gig Tape. Sometimes we make flyers for shows. Sometimes we just laugh at videos. Yeah. But that's a good place, honestly, to follow me, is at Gig Tapes.
Awesome. Tuck, where can people follow you?
First of all, how many cats have there been on this live stream so far?
Wait, I have one more.
We set a record. We had Guinness Book of World Records was tuned in for this live stream just for us to set a record, actually. We did it.
So many
Wow.
pets.
Amazing. I wish I had one. I feel kind of left out.
Sorry.
Why are you even here, Tuck?
But shit. So yeah, my Instagram handle is tuckn_roll. So it's TUCKN_ROLL. And my studio's in Lakewood, and yeah, people can reach out to me on there to inquire about mixing or recording or whatever.
Awesome.
Yeah,
well,
hopefully,
thank you all. Oh yeah, go on.
Hopefully, like, recording and band practices will be coming back soon. You know, maybe not shows with hundreds of people, but I'm excited to just have band practice again. You know.
For sure.
Yeah, totally.
Well, I'm really happy that we could do this this listening party, pet party live stream, watch party on Facebook Live tonight. This was really fun, and it was good to see everybody here again this week. So that everybody knows, next week we are our singer as well as some of the members of the band will be doing an interview and live performance with us. So you can tune in for that next week. I think we're shooting for Tuesday night to live stream that. But if you missed any part of this interview tonight with Andrew and Tuck, this project Cursed Image, you can also re-watch this stream as soon as it ends on our Facebook page at Live from Cleveland, or also our YouTube Live from Cleveland that you can get through the WRUW page. And then it will be rebroadcast tomorrow night on WRUW-FM 91.1 at 10 o'clock. So those are all the different ways that you can listen to this back again. The broadcast tomorrow night might sound a little tiny bit different. I will go through and edit some and clean it up a little bit. So cool. Ooh. Thank you guys so much. Thanks everybody for attending tonight and commenting. And remember, leave a comment. Tell us which song you liked the best.
Thank you. WRUW forever.
Bye, guys. Yeah. Thanks so much.
Thanks a lot.
Night.
Thank you. Are we clear? Just kidding.